What should we go from here, Dave? Let's go over some wrestling news, and then we'll get into the bracket because I know you guys are interested to see where that goes. All right, we had Braun Strowman. He's been in the news lately, and it's not for good things at all. In an Instagram post in response to AEW star Evil Uno, encouraging fans to support those in need within the industry during the coronavirus pandemic, Braun Strowman posted this on his Instagram account. Here we go with more of the somebody pay for my bills stuff. If you can't afford to pay your bills, maybe you should change professions. That's why I quit strongman. I loved it, but I couldn't afford to live, so instead of making a GoFundMe or a Patreon, wanting someone else to take care of me, I went out and worked harder than I ever have in my life to get where I am. What happened to being accountable for your own actions? He then followed up saying, and for anyone that goes, that's easy for you to say, you're a WWE superstar. Just an FYI, 7 years ago, I moved to Florida with everything I owned in a Kia Soul with $150 to my name when I started this. As you imagine, Strowman's lack of empathy has caused a huge backlash on social media, one which WWE probably could do without right now. Also, if you had anything negative to say about him, I believe he went on a big old blocking spree during this whole matter of him saying shit about everybody. What are your thoughts on that? Because it's not like these guys predicted this to happen. And to say that these indie wrestlers don't work hard is a bit of, I think, an asshole move right there. These guys work hard, and this is their biggest payday. This is where they get, a lot of money from wrestling on all of these shows that happen during wrestling weekend, or WrestleMania weekend. There's like 60 to 70 shows throughout WrestleMania weekend that a lot of these indie wrestlers wrestle on. And you can imagine that's a big payday for them. Not only that, didn't you have, WrestleCon, who was going to get splurged out of the money that they spent, and Marriott wasn't going to refund them. Obviously they did, because they went word of mouth on Twitter, and other wrestlers and other people got involved to help them out. But don't you feel like this is a little bit of an asshole move by Braun Strowman? Did we lose Dave again? All right, well,
I'm here. So I had to tell what's going on. Okay. I don't.
Braun should go to AEW.
Look, I get what people are saying.
He would be able to be put over by
he
Chris
makes
Jericho.
a good point too. That people are going out relying on other people to pay their bills and give them money, when a lot of us normal fan people, or marks like they like to always call us, have situations going on our own too, and they want us to dig in our herd. Look, they want us to dig into our money and pay their Patreon and pay their bills. If they can't cover what they're gonna miss out on, which it sucks that happened. It's good that Marriott is helping out WrestleCon and paying everything back. I get that, but maybe you shouldn't rely on one big paycheck, and if something happens, what happens is you can't make it or something happens. Anyway, like this, no one can see this coming. I get it. This is a big devastation to everyone. But maybe you should have a backup plan, not just count on one big paycheck that you're going to get a huge payday and that's it.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you on that.
So we're supposed to go to everyone's Patreon, every wrestler on the Indies Patreon, and give them money.
I think it's more, it's not saying, hey, go out there and donate now. Do it. Do it now. Forget about what you need. Forget about toilet paper. Go and donate money to so-and-so wrestler. I don't think it's like that. I think it's more, if you can help, help. If you can't, it's understandable. I don't think I don't think wrestlers think that you're going to automatically donate to them just because you ask for help. It's some people beg. I'll agree with you. Some people go out a little bit over the top and ask for money. But I think a lot of these guys are saying, if you enjoy my product, my talent, my wrestling, and it's just like with us. And if you feel like you can donate and help us out, we appreciate it. If you can't, that's fine. And maybe Evil Uno didn't word it correctly, but I don't feel like they're not hardworking or anything like that, right? Most of these indie wrestlers work another job for the most part.
A lot of them don't, though. I mean, a lot of them just make it whatever they make. I don't know what the average indie wrestler makes at a show.
I don't know either. That's a good. I'm sure they make most of it off the merch that they sell. I'm assuming.
Plus, a lot of people have tons of patrons, whatever the hell they're called, to pay a lot of their stuff and do a lot of extra content for people. I mean, I know people like Jordan Gray, Sienna, and a bunch of the wrestlers, and even Ethan Page use Patreon, what the hell it's called, to help them other ways and to get other access to it. Like Ethan Page offers other before this, he offered a lot of other exclusive stuff you can see with his stuff. I'm not saying everyone's but it does seem like it's like, oh, you have to do this or do that, and they're putting on. Look, and I have no problem with Will Ospreay and then did recently. No Fans Monday, help the wrestlers out, send money in. That's basically. I'm not saying that was bad, but they're helping that. I would like to see someone put on a benefit show to help this COVID-19 thing going around. Put on a benefit show for that. Raise money for that.
Okay, maybe we will. Like you said, Ospreay did a show where if you were watching, you could donate money. It's a little bit hard to do it nowadays, what's going around, but maybe people will find out ways of doing that so people can donate.
Tonight got canceled.
Let's get into the comments real quick because there's some heated comments in here. Braun should go to AEW. He would be able to be put over by Chris Jericho, says Ganicus. 90% of his colleagues wouldn't be in WWE if they quit just because they weren't making money on the indies. Also, most type of jobs that indie wrestlers work would probably be considered non-essential, meaning they get shut down if things got too seriously anyways. I saw that noob. None of these guys are making enough money during Mania Week to support themselves for any significant period of time, says Spees.
Go ahead, sorry.
So he's an asshole because he's making millions. If he was an indie wrestler, he wouldn't be saying this shit. The kid that star wrestle going to be huge in a couple of years, says Red Sox fan. But on top of that, apparently there was something said about him being creepy to Alexa. Not sure how true that is, but definitely looking into it, says Adam Baum. Ian Dunn says they're not begging for money. The point is to support local artists, talents, and business. AEW trolls on Instagram did the same thing. I don't understand the bitching about Braun. He's going after people who are entitled and think everything should be handed to them. It's my dad's an immigrant. He came to America with nothing. How is he now? He's retired, not working until he's 90. What's wrong with working hard and making it? Said Ted. Nothing at all. The problem, Dave, is that this shut down practically everything, said Adam Baum. He's a public figure, so it's okay to think that way. Just don't say it out loud, says Truth and Loyalty. Basically, yes. Promoters should be ashamed making dudes drive 3 hours for $25 a match. I agree with you, Red Sox fan, 100% on that. If he said this without a crisis going on, I could understand, but motherfuckers aren't wrestling and getting paid right now because everything is closed down, said Bobarewski. Half the country lives check to check. What do you mean they should have a backup plan, says Ian Dunn. That's true. Dude, people on Twitter post shit on Patreon. Help me pay my bills. Fuck you, get a job. I don't work to pay your bills. We're all trying to survive, says Ted. Evil Uno was saying to buy their shirts and merchandise because times are tough. That's what Evil Uno said. Mr. AEW says, F this bum. Someone needs to tell this right-wing piece of shit that hard work has nothing to do with where he's at. He's got a spot because Vince has a fetish for 7-foot white boys. And even this bum is getting jobbed out like a Great Value version of Big Show. Can't believe someone was backing up this idiot. Y'all were mad as fuck that he didn't get a title run. Dude is corny as fuck. His shit is for little kids, and he's complete garbage in the ring. Roman carried him to some fuckery. Goddamn, Mr. AEW.
He's just mad because he took a shot at Archer. That's the only reason he's mad about it. And they went back and forth on it.
Shit, Corona gonna make everyone in the world get a private OnlyFans account. Don't mind guys asking for help. Just don't tell me you can't afford to live if you don't get help from Patreon. Fuck that. At that point, you're relying on charity, not using it to supplement what you already have. I agree with you, Spees. That's a very good point. WWE issuing a cease and desist over a show because they used the In Your House logo. Nice to know that even at crisis, they continue to be petty. Really? I didn't know about that.
Yeah, because the show that show got canceled too because it was in Chicago and they went on lockdown, or Illinois.
That's
did.
crazy. I didn't.
And
know
that was the show that Mustafa Ali was paying the wrestlers, and people were gonna that was the show for Pro Wrestling Tees. And they had to cancel it because of a lockdown.
Ah, that's a shame. The stable Shinsuke Nakamura, Cesaro, and Sami Zayn have received their official name. They are called the Artist Collective.
Interesting name.
What do you think about that?
I mean, to be fair, look, you could say it's an AEW ripoff. They're not the Nightmare Collective. They're the Artist Collective. To be fair,
I never even thought about that, Dave. To be honest with you,
really? Okay,
no, I didn't. Now that you said it, now I have.
Yeah, it's the Nightmare Collective, but they have been calling themselves artists.
They have, yes. The name is shit, though. The Artist Collective, like, come on. They couldn't think of something more clever.
Well, it is WWE.
That is true. This is the first person exploiting this crisis to make money, but buy shirts times are tough. Screw kiddo. Dave with his AEW comments. Oh, Red Sox fan, we have already marked Dave the Davey Cornette. It's gonna get worse, trust me.
Yep. And I never trash WWE at all, but yeah. I don't say Becky is trash, Rollins is trash.
Those are some nice emotes. The Baron Corbin emotes. Oh, we got real Tessa Blanchard in here. Who was saying that she hasn't been in here? I think it was Richie. If something's shittier than shit, then did it really ever exist? That's how I view TNA. Oh man. Jobber Collective, says Ian Dunn. Man. So is Braun in the doghouse? He won the IC title a month or two ago and then lost it at Elimination Chamber. Never heard from him ever since then. For 2 months, Dave? I mean, shit. He lost to Sami Zayn, and
he hasn't been on TV since this whole thing started.
I should trademark that. That's stealing Tony. Hey, everybody calls him Davey Cornette now. Now, Speeds made a good point on his show last night that as big of a guy and star that WWE wants to try to make him out as, he's only had like 2 WrestleMania matches. And one was with a fucking 8-year-old kid. Like, the dude is not star power anymore, in my opinion. Collective is a very bad name for a stable in any wrestling promotion in any part of the world. Change my mind, says Real Lion. I agree with you on that. I may be back later. I may not. I discovered GTA roleplay on Twitch, and right now, Chain Gang versus... Thank you, Tessa Blanchard. Appreciate that. Mr. AEW says Braun hasn't been on TV since he lost the IC title, Dave.
Yeah, but there hasn't been... Hardly anyone has been on TV.
And that was at Elimination Chamber.
That was less than, 2 weeks ago? And we've been in this for about 2 weeks now?
WWE has so many so-called creative people, and yet they are so far from it, says Ian Dunn. Yikes. Yikes. The WWE hate is real tonight. Or criticism is real today, I should say. Don't confuse me with Texas Kid. Braun only got over breaking shit. That's exactly what I said in the Discord. Braun was, the flavor of the month or a couple of months. Because why? What did everybody like about him, Dave?
I didn't like it.
What did people like about Braun? That he fucking flipped cars and threw car doors and... That was the only reason, and stopped moving vehicles and flipped the ambulances and all this shit. That's the only reason why people started liking him. And they dropped the ball. They could have given the title then, when he was actually over with the crowd, but they didn't. They kept his feud with Roman going, and when you thought maybe he was gonna beat him, I'm sorry, I have my notifications on. What happened?
That was the best thing he did.
Yeah,
his
by
feud
far.
with Roman was his best stuff he's done in the
WWE.
Not stuff with Brock or nothing, or even Corbin. It was all the stuff with Roman.
That's why. That's another good point, Bob Rushi. That's why
his
they cheered for him.
Was that ambulance match I think he had with Roman and Strowman had that ambulance match. That was the best match Strowman's been in. He was doing the whole beating everyone and no one could beat him, and then they just
Gannicus, you're very correct on that.
Break you down and bring you back up.
He was beating Reigns. That's why people liked him. Yeah.
He didn't beat Reigns, though.
Beating him up. That's what he means. Yes, we can move on. We will never forget Braun teaming up with a 10-year-old child. That will never happen. All right. AEW news. This is interesting. AEW Blood and Guts was originally planned for Dynamite in Atlanta, Dave. Chris Jericho on his recent podcast said that one of the original ideas for Blood and Guts for next week, which was supposed to be in Newark in front of 14,000 people, was to do it in Atlanta because they really wanted to pop the Atlanta market.
Yeah,
Jericho explained, it was right in the middle of Cody and MJF, Jericho and Moxley, and the Kenny Bucks Hangman thing. I was like, we can't just plop a freaking double cage match into Atlanta just because that's the place we want. We orchestrated that we'll get done with our stories. February 29th is the pay-per-view. Then Elite and Inner Circle can go on. I said, what's the rush? We have weekly television. We have plenty of time to tell our stories. He also added, no one's going to cut you off at the knees and wake up in the morning and go, I'm sick of it, said Chris Jericho. So, yeah, it was originally supposed to be in Atlanta instead of where they were going to be in, well, obviously it's canceled now.
You know what they should do, honestly? Save it. Do something like this for either All Out or something like that in August.
Best thing he has ever done is win tag team titles with Nicholas. That is true, Alice. We will never forget. Kalisto drop kicked him in a dumpster, said Paparuski. Lion Silva says WWE fail in the defining moment to form new stars. They didn't capitalize on Manny's momentum, didn't capitalize on Braun's momentum. Looks like Vince doesn't want to create new stars. But maybe with Otis, possibly. Maybe. NWA not popping in the ATL market. Says Red Sox.
Yeah, it's not. It's terrible. One thing I think Red Sox agrees on, that NWA show is terrible.